Hey everybody, it's me, Gregory Mannarino. How are you today? Lovely day. Let's start off with that. Very lovely. And I'll tell you why. It's already exceedingly lovely. It's just too much, seriously. Wednesday, August 15th, 2018. Now, let me ask you, if you follow this blog, or better yet, even if you just watched the video that I did last night post-market, is what's happening right now in the stock market in any way a surprise to you? I would be willing to bet no. Let's talk about what's going on here. It's incredible. Well, apparently, you remember yesterday the Confederacy of Dunces over there? They were trying to say the market shrugs off anything to do with Turkey. It's all behind us now. Get in here. Use this as a buying opportunity. This is their usual narrative. Well, that's proving to be not true. And let me also say this again, going back to the video that I did yesterday. The dollar was telling you and me both, and I outlined this in that video, that things were not as rosy as the Confederacy over there wants us to believe. And the dollar is a problem. So let's just recap. The issues with Turkey are just starting, in my opinion. The issues with regard to the European banks, actually the banks all over the world, is beginning to rear its ugly head. This environment of fakery is I think, really starting to become real. People are saying, hey, what's going on here? We cannot borrow our way into prosperity. Obama tried it. It didn't work. President Trump is trying it. It's not working. I've covered this over and over again. And hyperinflating the debt, like started under President Obama and continues now with President Trump, and every single excuse to continue to borrow to feed the machine is just making the issue monumentally worse, and it's going to cause suffering on a much greater scale when this all normalizes. So let's talk about a few things that are going on here that you would expect to see at the beginnings of a meltdown. As I am doing this video blog, silver is getting slaughtered. Gold is getting pounded. The dollar is getting stronger. These are typical things you would expect to see when things start to bubble up here. That's the truth. We saw it last time. It's a repeat scenario. There's no doubt about it. Although this time, people, you know this if you follow this blog, multiples on top of multiples worse than last time. Everything around us has been engineered to appear that we're in some type of a global recovery, a recovery here actually it's not even called a recovery here in the United States. According to President Trump, this is as good as it gets right here. Meanwhile, housing affordability is at a 10-year low. Wages are not rising. Labor force participation rate near a historic low. Although they're trying to fist feed you all these numbers. These people unemployed is these numbers are the best we've ever seen. It's a joke. These are the same metrics that were used under President Obama. That President candidate Trump at the time said, don't believe any of it. Well, he wants you to believe it now. It's a joke. All this is fake, and I don't blame our world leaders for what they're trying to do. It's always the same story. They have to calm people down and make them believe everything is okay. Just like yesterday with CNBC saying, oh, don't worry, the Turkey problems don't matter. Oh, the issues with European banks, ignore that too. It's just too freaking ridiculous, you have to admit. But again, these are the things that we would expect to see. Knee-jerk into the dollar. Metals getting hit here. Now, this is what is going to happen here. I'm going to go out on a limb here. We understand that we are right in the middle of an escalating trade war. I mean, wouldn't you agree? Okay, I got you on that one. So, because of this, the dollar keeps vaulting higher. This is not what well, it's not what President Trump wants. We understand that. Candidate Trump and President Trump stated that they want the dollar weak. Why? A weaker dollar is good for international trade companies here based in the United States that trade overseas. Okay, we all got that down too. So something is going to need to be done with regard to the dollar. The yield curve, something I've been screaming about forever here. The issue with, and it's the Federal Reserve, it's the banks getting in here and buying up those bonds, trying to keep those rates suppressed so stocks will go up. I explained to you how they can't have their cake and eat it too. Meaning, the flattening yield curve, or rates even where they are, is hurting the banks, which are already in trouble that you cannot believe, despite whatever the Fed's stress tests are trying to tell us. It's a joke. The Fed's stress test. Oh, believe in this. Believe, because the Fed always gets it right. The Fed never gets it right. That's a challenge I've been putting out here for years. Anyone out here, tell me one time where the Fed has gotten it right. Never. They always get it wrong, and they're always way, way, way behind the curve. A lot of what we're seeing now, believe it or not, could have been averted if the Federal Reserve would have been ahead of the curve here. And, when we were being fist-fed that our economy is booming, before it became the best ever, according to President Trump, if the Fed would have normalized rates, because we're still in an abnormal environment, this is their words, not me, yes, the stock market wouldn't be as high as it is right now. There was no doubt about it. It may be 5,000 points lower or 6, but it would have been more real. This is just an environment of epic distortions across the spectrum of asset classes. We have never been here before. This is literally where no man or woman has gone before. It's the truth. but it's just crazy what we're seeing here. So understand, what we're witnessing now in the market, the Dow Jones Industrial Average gave up all of its, it gained 112 points yesterday. Last time I looked, it was down about 150 points. I don't know where. It could go a lot lower by the end of the day, or they're going to try to maybe prop it up. I don't know. But what I do know is these distortions are going to correct to fair value, period. And the fact that we're seeing the knee-jerk into the dollar, the pressure building on precious metals is a big tell to this guy sitting right in front of you that we may be at the precipice of something. Now just remember, this guy sitting in front of you explained to you last night that the dollar was telling us something was wrong, and we should, despite the fact that the Confederacy of Dunces was trying to convince you that the problems over there were just fine, just ignore them. Well, it looks like, again, they were trying to say, look here, don't look here. It's the same story. But the fact is, the proof is right in front of us. And if we just know where to look, well, we can make sense out of what's really going on. Anyway, I know this is long. Let's see where this goes. And, I just want to say I really appreciate all of you. I see that I asked for you guys to share this video. You've done that for me, and I really appreciate that. And giving me a thumbs up, too. I really appreciate that, too. Look, I'm going to say this again. You and me, all of us here, we're responsible for each other. We really are. If the world would embrace that kind of a mentality and believe in that, we would all be a lot better off. The mainstream news outlets and our politicians, they want to keep us divided by anything possible, by race, by creed, by religion, no matter what it is. Keep them divided. Always the same story, divide and conquer. But if we realize we're all unified, we're all part of the same human race, and we need to depend on each other, well, we can, their agenda just won't work. We need to band together. So anyway, thank you again for sharing these videos. Thank you again for giving me a thumbs up. Makes me feel good. Keeps me inspired. See you at the end of the day.